Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Awaken the World Quick Talk. Today, united we stand, divided we fall. It, of course, is Tuesday, April 16th, and it is pretty close to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Hello. So, we are going to get to our quick talk for 6 o'clock. Come on a few minutes early today to have a little discussion about the cathedral in Paris, Notre Dame Cathedral, that burned to the ground. Now, this cathedral was built on the site of two other prior burned churches, and construction began, I believe it was around 1173 or so. And we're talking an 850-year-old structure. And as I had mentioned to Kelly, I spent a lot of years living in France and in Paris, and that was the beauty of it. You were surrounded by beautiful old architecture. That being said, the French president came on to say that France was hurting over the cathedral being burned. Now, I've got a couple issues with that, okay? You see, there's 141,000 homeless people living in France. And France was not hurting because of the 141,000 homeless people. France was hurting because a building burned. In the space of 24 hours, well over $1 billion has been raised globally to rebuild this monument to religious control. Why, in the name of creation, would we put this money into building another edifice, another monument, when there are 141,000 people in need of homes? Why is it we rush to cry and weep over stone and brick and mortar, yet we do nothing when our fellow brother and sister is suffering? I, quite frankly, do not count myself among the human population, and there's a good reason for it. One, I'm not, but then again, neither really are you. But the main reason being is this, okay? We are suffering from a mass delusion, a mass hysteria, the idea that we can never be separate from ourselves. The idea that brick and stone and mortar could ever represent more than the value of even a single human life. Until we have learned those lessons, we will continue to destroy ourselves, to destroy our environment, to destroy our homes. Go ahead and rebuild that monument if you must. I'm sure the Catholic Church is quite smug, not having to take any of its some $1 trillion worth of assets and put them into the homeless. Sorry, I mean rebuilding one of their churches. It'll fall again, as all monuments and edifices must one day do. That's it. That's what I have to say on that. So with that, let's start our Awaken the World Quick Talk. And tonight we are going to talk about a subject that is near and dear to my heart, and that's why we're talking about it tonight. And that is this: united we stand, divided we fall. Now, this has nothing to do with war. It really doesn't. It doesn't have to do with separation. It doesn't have to do with being different in any sort of way. It has to do with the oneness of us all. Now, I had made a post the other day on Facebook and it was yesterday actually. And the post essentially said that rarely is one voice ever heard, but together we can make a thunderous roar. We as a spiritual community lack something that organized religion has in spades, and that is their organization. You see, I fully believe that spread across the entire surface of this globe and well connected to the internet, there is easily 1/2 billion awakening people. And that's all it would take to catapult our world into an entirely new era. In the meantime, we have to learn to start working together. We have to put aside the same petty fights that are in religion that I see appearing in spiritual group after spiritual group after spiritual group. We have to be willing to come together and understand that once we're willing to put all those differences aside, there's a field of love and light we can all meet upon. We can all sit in that sweet grass together. We can all drink from that fountain. Every last one of us. Divided We Fall has taken on a very shadowy and dark connotation in our modern day society, where we are being pitted against each other at every level. And as I said, what I see manifesting in Facebook group after Facebook group, in commentary after commentary, the hissing and spitting and fighting, this is exactly what the power and control structure on this planet wants going on. They want the average member of the human race upset at someone other than themselves. They want conflict, they want disagreement, they want the perception of enemies within our own walls, so to speak, on one planet, the one home of a myriad number of species. We are being divided against each other at every level. Religion has and continues to contribute to this, and a lot of this is unconscious. They don't understand the damage that they are doing. They don't understand that thanks to their twisted belief system, they have to destroy this planet first before it can ever be saved and remade, and not by us, but by some fictional deity. We, as awakening spiritual beings, are the future of this world. We are the future of the human race. We are where the human race as a whole must go, and we do not get there alone. We do not get there without our brothers and sisters, without the entirety of us. As above, so below, which is another way of saying the microcosm is a reflection of the macrocosm. And the macrocosm is also a reflection of the microcosm. The truth of your existence is found in a single drop of water. The magnificence of all creation can be seen in a leaf. We, as apparent parts, individualized parts of that one sea of consciousness, that one divine being, yes, Susan, walking together, hand in hand. As we perceive ourselves to be separate from God, to be different. We perceive ourselves to be separate and different from each other. We refuse to see the sameness, the wholeness, the oneness of the entirety of our race, of our existence. If we continue to allow ourselves to be divided, if we continue to perceive enemies all around us, that power and control structure will easily take the victory they wish. And that victory is the decimation of the human race, down to what they term manageable numbers. We do not fight against these sort of things. When we fight against it, we play right into the trap. We add our negativity, our anger, our frustration, in certain cases our hatred, right into the mix. And we fall asleep again, forgetting our higher values, the higher truths that we've been made aware of. But we can stand together. We can stand together and speak with one voice. We can stand together and offer love and compassion and togetherness and be the light in the dark, the calm in the storm of the societal. Literally, society is being played at such a profoundly deep and horrifying level. We must stand together, not against this, but for each other, for humanity, for the planet, for our environment, for peace, for ending homelessness, for food for all members of the species. So how do we get to that place? How can we work together to make this happen? Well, we have to start creating communities. Whether those communities are in communities or in digital communities, we have to start working together. We have to start utilizing the power that we possess when we stand united, when we stand as one voice and say, this ends now. There's a better way. It could very easily be likened to a war, and I guess my issue is I've faced far too many wars in my life, and I don't really like the word anymore. And war is always about standing against, pushing up against another. Who's stronger? Well, strength does not make right. Might does not mean it's okay to perpetrate violence upon those who are not in possession of that strength. Every day, our laws are used as shields in order to perpetrate violence against our fellow members of humanity. Labels are used as excuses why it's okay to separate mothers from children, to break up families, to declare that someone leaving a place where they perceive no future and walking across an invisible line could somehow not be worthy of the same safety, dignity, respect that we wish for ourselves. We can weather this storm, and we will weather this storm to one degree or another. We as awakening beings have an opportunity like no other time in recent history to accelerate the awakening process, to stand together and speak in a thunderous, roaring voice that says, "This must change. The time has come for a new beginning." Much love to you all tonight. Namaste. May you find peace in your day, in your evening. We look forward to a meditation with you tomorrow evening on the Help Awaken YouTube channel. Susan, thank you so much for being here. May you have a peaceful night. And again, all our love.